Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, this week we have a big spring summer sort of thrift haul, and I'm super excited about this video because I've been waiting to show you guys these pieces after sort of like collecting them over the past few months. This might actually be my 100th time saying this, but I am from Texas and spring is also my birthday month. It was my birthday a few days ago, so I feel like I'm just like a warm weather gal, like through and through. I just love longer days, like the sun, the flowers are starting to bloom here, and there's like a light breeze in the air. It's truly like the perfect weather to get dressed, and honestly my favorite season to just like be outside. So I'm excited to show you guys sort of what I've collected in the past few months. A few of these pieces I've thrifted or picked up vintage here in Seoul, and then a good handful of them I actually picked up when I was back at home in Austin, and so that's sort of where the title of this video comes from because the haul went crazy. So I'm excited to show you some of those pieces later in this video, but I want to start off with some pieces that feel like more appropriate to this weather right now. I'm sure a lot of you guys might be in like early spring as well. It's giving like light jackets, light sweaters, long sleeves. I feel like it's peak layering season. So for that, I have two pieces here. The first is this beautiful turtleneck. I got this at a vintage store here for I think like $18, so it's not the cheapest thing in the world, but I would say that those are pretty standard prices for like Seoul vintage shops. But this has quickly become one of my favorite pieces in my closet. Like I've been wearing this on repeat. It's a striped sort of blue and purple sweater, and so from far away it kind of looks like almost like greenish blue, but when you come up closer you can see these like really tiny stripes, which I love that detail that like it kind of only shows up when you're looking closely. But it's kind of just like an incredible fitting, like very soft cotton turtleneck. I feel like with turtlenecks, we usually see them as like sweaters or layering pieces only in like black and white and gray. And so I love this like sort of colorful turtleneck. It looks really good on its own, but it's really easy to layer with like any spring jacket that's sort of like a neutral color and then like a pair of jeans. And I feel like it kind of gives like a very effortless, slightly like 90s-esque vibe that I've really been loving. Yeah, I'm super happy with this. I definitely recommend like sort of a colorful cotton turtleneck if you're looking for some more spring basics. Next, we have sort of like a winter item that I think can be pulled off really easily in spring, and it's this Beams wool sweater that I've been talking about forever. If you've seen any of my recent vlogs, I have been wearing this thing to death as well. This is a pretty lightweight sort of 100% wool sweater that I also got here at a vintage store, and I want to make sure I'm honest with the prices. I think this was around $50, which is definitely a lot, but it is 100% wool, and it's one of the best quality sweaters I've honestly ever found. I think knitwear vintage is almost always better because to pay for a 100% wool or cashmere sweater new now is like hundreds of dollars, which is so crazy. I just love everything about this. The shape fits me absolutely perfectly. It's sort of like perfectly oversized. We have the amazing stripe that I feel like just adds like a really classic feel, but kind of elevates it from being like just a super basic navy sweater. But I think it's light enough that I could just wear it over a skirt, a dress. I feel like this is one of those pieces that you can't really place it in terms of an era. It feels very timeless in that way, which I love. So those are sort of like my two early spring vintage finds in Seoul. And now to get on to my Austin suburban thrifting haul, which again was sort of the best thrifting I've ever done. I was at home for a decent amount of time, but I actually didn't go to any of the thrift stores for a while just because I wanted to, enjoy the holidays with my family, see friends, whatever. But I literally had 2 1-hour sessions at this Goodwill that's like super close to my house. Both times I was just like, I'm gonna stop in. I have a little extra hour before dinner or something. And it literally was the best sort of thrifting experience of my life. I found so many gems, just things that didn't like quite fit me right or whatever, and so I put a lot of stuff back, but like someone needs to go find them because there was like vintage American Eagle, 100% cashmere like knit vests and like the coolest button downs, and they were all like $4 to $6. It was like the thrift of the century, and I wish I could have gone back one more time, but I'm super happy with what I found in those first 2 sessions. The first thing that I picked up there was this brown v-neck sort of cotton t-shirt. The brand is Sherry Taylor, and I think it's probably from the early 2000s because I kid you not, the like sort of like description is written in Comic Sans. But I just feel like this is like the perfect sort of effortless basic. I was looking for sort of like a deep chocolate brown top, and so I'm super happy that I found this one, and the v-neck is really, really nice because it looks really great with anything layered underneath. I like to wear it with like sort of like a white tank top, and I feel like that contrast is super fun. And again, it's like so simple, but it's already a point of interest that makes any outfit feel a lot more put together and just interesting. And I just don't think they make cotton tees like this anymore. The quality of this sort of like jersey is so nice, and like all of the tops that I'm about to show you, this was $6, so not bad at all. I honestly kind of can't believe this next one, but I thrifted a 100% cashmere Land's End cardigan in this incredible red color. Again, $6 for a 100% cashmere cardigan. I literally snatched this off the rack. Like as soon as I saw it, I ran to the fitting room, and it fit me really, really well. It looks so good with just any sort of jean, and sort of like a classic top underneath. I think the red in itself is already enough of a statement to make the outfit look really fun. I feel like I kind of see the cashmere hype now. Like this is one of the softest things I've ever felt, and one of my favorite parts is that there's this sort of like eyelet detail along the stitching. The only thing about this is that I'm kind of struggling with the shape. I think in my complete ideal world, it wouldn't have been a v-neck, and it would have been sort of just like a neckline up here. So I'm struggling a little bit to style it outside of the outfit that I just mentioned. So if you guys have any ideas, let me know, because I absolutely love it. I just think it's such a cool piece, and I can't believe I found it, and I really want to sort of make the most use out of it. Next we have another short sleeve that might be my favorite sort of like graphic tee that I own. It's truly like the perfect shape. It's kind of like my ideal baby tee, because I don't really like super cropped or like super tight t-shirts, but I feel like this one is exactly the perfect fit. I could be wrong, but it says it's a large, so I feel like it's probably like a kid shirt, so it's like literally sort of like a baby tee. But I've mentioned this before, but this is like sort of my hometown like baseball team. I think I've been to like 2 of their games with like free tickets that I earned at like summer camp or whatever in my life, and so it just feels perfect. It's like, it reminds me of home. Again, the cotton on this t-shirt is so nice and thick, and I feel like it's the perfect color. I love wearing navy, I love wearing blue, and so yeah, I've been wearing this with this white long sleeve layered underneath, and honestly I'm just so excited to wear this and like a pair of jeans and like sandals and sunglasses or whatever for summer. I think that's gonna be my absolute like uniform. Then we have another short sleeve. This is not part of my Goodwill haul, but I think I went to a place called either Uptown or Urban Cheapskate. It has more sort of like modern brands at like, I would say not quite thrift prices, but definitely not vintage prices. So it's like Lulu or sort of like H&M or whatever, and they're around like, I would say $8 to $15. And so I went with my sister and I picked up this top. It's from the brand FR Movement, which I had no idea, but I guess it's like an athletic wear brand. And so this is sort of like a workout top, but I think it looks really cute as sort of just like a casual top as well. There's a slight trend here, but I really love the v-neck. I also love the ribbing of the collar. And again, I think I've been more inspired by like 90s basics recently, and so just been looking for like really cute basic tops with just like a slightly sort of like interesting twist that makes it feel more mine. That'll be super easy to wear with like whatever else is in my closet. There's one trend that I'm actually genuinely obsessed with, and I hope will stay in my closet and in everyone's closets for a very long time. It's the boat neck sort of neckline. I know everyone has sort of like a different body and sort of like shoulder shape and whatever, but I do think it's like just super flattering on most people, and I absolutely love it on me. I just feel like it like makes it a little bit more classy and formal, even if the like t-shirt is like super casual. And so that's exactly what this t-shirt feels like. I think the color and the neckline make it feel very like classic and sort of a little bit more cool girl, like kind of like I know what I'm doing. And it's super easy to pair with like a vintage pair of jeans or like corduroy pants. I've been wearing a ton of this. Again, if you guys are interested in boat neck shirts, I'd really recommend looking vintage before you sort of pick the ones that are out now, just because the quality again is like, I feel like unbeatable, and it's kind of nice to be like, oh, this is like the old silhouette, and kind of bring that back into our modern day. Okay, ironically, I'm actually just going to go against what I just said. Yes, look for vintage boat necks, especially if you want like sort of a cool piece. But if you're looking for a basic boat neck, obviously this isn't thrifted, but I just wanted to include it here because it has been such a staple in my spring wardrobe, and it's this Uniqlo boat neck sort of ribbed top. Honestly, other than like the thickness of the fabric, it feels so similar to the loft top, and I really love this one because it's sort of like like a white gray, like speckled sort of print. And so I think it's a little bit more interesting than just white or just black, but it has been such a good staple in my wardrobe. I wear it layered under most of my jackets, sort of like hoodies and things. And then if you get hot, you can take that off and you still have like a really cute sort of boat neck top underneath. Yeah, I'd really recommend. I think they have like some striped ones, maybe some colored ones as well. So I've been really loving the Uniqlo boat neck. Hi guys, editing Kate coming in here because after filming this video, I literally went to a vintage store that day on a complete whim just to see if there was anything because it was sort of like my birthday week and I wanted to see if I could find something, and I found the best spring jacket ever. The brand is the Duffer of St. George and it's a size large, and it seems to be sort of like an old vintage British brand. I love the check pattern on it and the blue colors, and it feels like just like the perfect, most stylish British grandpa fit, and I love it. It's so like perfectly oversized, comfy, just everything I would ever want. And one of my favorite details about it is that it has sort of like this collar that you can button, and it almost looks like a turtleneck or something. And it's practical because it keeps your neck warm, and then it's also even more stylish, I think, like that. This one was also around $50 because I found it vintage, but I think the quality and the uniqueness of it makes it super worth it, and I think I'll get really good wear out of it every spring. It also seems to be pretty waterproof as well, so I'm very excited. Just wanted to include this for you guys because it truly is an incredible spring secondhand find. And I think those are finally all my tops that I've sort of thrifted in the past little bit. And then I have 3 pairs of pants to show you guys. The first are these vintage pair of Levi's. These are the 502s, and they are just like this beautiful sort of dark wash that almost feels kind of gray or greeny. I can't tell if it was made like this or if someone just wore the heck out of it before me, but the fading on it is so nice. It makes anything look sort of like worn in and comfy and just like vintage in that way. If you guys are like me and you usually like a baggier pant, but you've been looking for something a little bit more fitted to kind of give like a very clean, crisp silhouette, and you can wear like baggy things on top and whatever, I would absolutely recommend the 502s. I've honestly worn them with probably all of the tops that I've just shown you, and I think they're going to become a spring staple and also probably like fall winter staple for sure. Those I bought at a vintage store in Busan, and they were I think $18, which is probably like the best deal on a Levi's pair of pants that I've ever seen, so I'm super grateful. They fit me so well. And then I actually paid the same exact amount for these corduroy pants that are kind of unbranded. So just to show you like how good the Levi's deal was, but no regrets. I really like these corduroy pants as well. They're quite baggy, and my favorite part is that they have an elastic waist at the back, and so truly I don't have to worry about, you know, my food baby with these pants. I really like sort of like the idea of corduroy, but I'm kind of trying to learn how to work it into my outfits, and I think choosing this gray was really nice just because I feel like sort of like the standard beige tan corduroy goes with a little less in my outfit because there's so many sort of like winter like cool tones in my closet. I love these. Whenever I get bored of my jeans and sort of when I want sort of like a cozier feel to my outfit, almost like, I don't know, reminiscent of my teenage like indie years, I pull these out, and they've been really fun. And lastly, for pants, I have another non-thrifted Uniqlo item, but I just want to include this again because I'm super happy with this purchase. I haven't taken the tag off yet because I kind of have this thing where I only take tags off once I've worn the item out, and this is just to prove to myself that I like remind myself that I need to wear it. But these are the sort of like linen blend pants in the color brown. To be fair, I bought these quite in advance because it's not close to summer yet at all here, but I was scared of like Uniqlo stuff selling out sometimes when it goes like viral or whatever, and I just wanted to like have them on hand and get excited for summer, especially because it gets so humid and hot here. So I think linen is like an absolute necessity. The fit of it kind of feels like between like a pajama pant and like a nicer trouser. It's one of those things that if I saw it on someone else, I'd be like, that person looks so comfortable and I just want to be them right now in like the heat of this summer. But I think the color of the brown makes it a little bit sort of like nicer. It elevates the vibe a tiny bit. And because in summer I tend to have a lot of like lighter tops, I feel like this will go with a lot of them. So I'll link the top and the pants down below and feel free to check those out. And last but not least, we have the only accessory in this haul, which is this vintage bag that I got for I think also around $50. I'd honestly never heard of this brand before, but it's a vintage Etienne Agnier. I'll put the name on the screen, but it has this really sort of cool signature gold A. And then I really love the sort of gold buckles as well at the top. And these are adjustable. You can move them up and down. And overall, I just loved how simple and yet sort of like, you know, vintage and cool this bag felt. I think the straps are really cute. It's kind of like a elevated tote bag, obviously, and the color is so perfect. It's like this cool sort of burgundy. The best part is that it fits my entire life. I carry my iPad, multiple books, like journals, and I love that it zips up. I feel like if you're like me and you're like the most loyal tote bag user, this is like the perfect kind of bag to try and find vintage, because it feels like, yeah, just like a big glorified tote bag with a zipper, which is life-changing. Honestly, you don't have to worry about anything falling out ever. And yeah, I was kind of surprised because I'm not a huge bag person. I don't know if I ever will become like a very big like vintage designer bag girl or whatever, but I'm so happy with this purchase. It makes me feel like a big girl in grad school, doing my thing, doing my little adult thing, no longer wearing my canvas tote bags all the time, even though I do wear them pretty frequently. And yeah, I'm sure you guys know this, but don't sleep on the bags at your local sort of like vintage or thrift store, even if they aren't like, you know, super famous designer. The deals are really great. It's obviously 100% leather and it looks so cool and faded. And I love that it feels like I've worn it for a long time, even though I just got it. Okay, so those are all of my sort of like thrift goodies for this season. I'm super excited about all of these pieces and so happy with like these little additions to my wardrobe. I might talk about this more in another video, but I feel like it's been a really big year of sort of coming into my style and really figuring out how everything works with each other and kind of having like a curated vibe across my closet. And the conclusion, as always, is that I love basics that sort of work with each other, but that each have sort of like an interesting detail that sets them apart from just like your most absolute basic t-shirt or pant or whatever. And yeah, I've just noticed that like getting dressed has felt a lot more effortless recently, and just like things seem more me. Like I just feel super comfortable in almost all of my clothes, which is so good, like truly like the ideal. So hopefully this can just be maintained. And like a big part of it actually is that I've been trying to shop more intentionally and a little less this year. I realize this is very ironic, but I bought most of these pieces, like I said, when I was at home in January, and since then I've only been adding like 1 or 2 pieces per month, which I know for some people that might be a lot, but for me, compared to like last year, that is a big improvement, and I'm hoping to keep that going because again, I feel like, yeah, just being more slow and intentional about my clothing consumption has made me love fashion and getting dressed and all that stuff even more. I think that's it for today's video. Let me know if you've gone thrifting recently and found anything good. Let's celebrate together in the comments, or if you like anything that I've shown you guys. If you're still watching, please leave a little comment, because honestly, I keep making these fashion videos and I don't know if anyone's really watching them, but that's totally fine because I love this content and I love watching it on other people's channels. And so whoever my small sort of fashion audience is on here, I'd love to chat with you guys and get excited for the next season. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!